Hello and welcome to Tech Deals. Are you looking for a high-end, full-featured premium laptop computer for gaming, multitasking, multimedia, and content creation? Then stop, you've come to the right place. This should be on your short list. This is the MSI Apache Pro Gaming Series laptop computer. It starts about $1,200 and goes up from there, and for that money you get an amazing computer. What can you do with this? You can do gaming, basically all current games at 1080p resolution, full HD, at high to ultra detail at 60 frames per second or better will play on this computer. Content creation. Do you want to edit and render videos? Do you want to do 3D animation? Do you want to do sound work? You can do all of that on this computer. In fact, anything that you would do on a high-end, full-featured desktop computer can be done on this, because basically this is a full-power, high-end desktop computer in the size of a laptop. It's a very, very nice machine. I will be doing a full series of videos and tests on this computer. There will be a link in the video description below to a full playlist of videos on this computer. First boot in Windows setup, Windows performance review, game performance videos. Basically, I will show you all the different things this computer can do. In this video, I'm going to be talking about what hardware comes in this machine, how it compares to other similar machines that I've reviewed in the past and what else is on the market, and then I'll talk to you about the different models this machine comes in. This machine comes in more than 4 different models of varying equipment types. It starts at about $1,200 and goes up from there, and I'll talk about who should consider each one and what the pros and cons are. Now, linked in the video description below will be all those different models to both Amazon and Newegg. Prices change over time, so I don't want to be too specific about pricing when I'm doing a video, because a month from now the prices will change. But I encourage you to take a look at them and see what the current deals are available on those links in the description below. Compare Amazon to Newegg, see what the best prices are, and make the right choice for you. Gaming is the primary purpose that a lot of people buy this type of laptop for. And this really will play all current games at 1080p resolution, full HD, and it really will do them at higher ultra very well. Why? Well, in addition to having the latest and greatest Intel i7 processor, this has got basically top-of-the-line chip from Intel. It also has NVIDIA's brand new dedicated gaming graphics card, the GTX 1060 6GB graphics card. It's enough VRAM to play all the latest games, and it's enough performance to have them play very, very well. In fact, new in the 10 series of graphics cards from NVIDIA this time around, we have something we've never had in laptops before. The desktop graphics chips and the laptop graphics chips are the same. This did not used to be true. In the previous generation, in the 900 series from NVIDIA, a 960 was not the same on a desktop as the 960M in a laptop. They were very different. This time they're not. In fact, this is within 80 to 90% of the performance of the desktop 1060. So if you've seen any tests or benchmarks of a GTX 1060 and you want to know, well, how well will it work in a laptop? Very, very close. Now, I will do game performance videos on this, not to worry. Those will be coming up on my channel. So if you've not subscribed to my channel, please do so using the big button below this video. You will get notifications for when those videos come out. They'll come out over the next couple of weeks. I'll test a variety of games, Battlefield 1, Rise of the Tomb Raider, Grand Theft Auto 5, etc. on this machine. It will play all those games perfectly. So those are some of the things you can do with a laptop such as this. Let me talk for a minute about the technical specifications and what you get for each of the models. Now, I mentioned before it does come in different models. Those are linked in the video description below. Let me talk about the $1,200 model for a minute. This machine comes with the Intel i7-6700HQ processor. That is basically their top-of-the-line, high-powered quad-core chip, up to 3.5 gigahertz. It comes with 12 gigabytes of system RAM, which is enough for most people. For basically all the current games on the market today, from Battlefield 1 to Grand Theft Auto 5, 12 gigabytes is enough. It comes with a 128 gigabyte solid-state drive. Windows is installed on that solid-state drive, so you get really fast boot performance, fast program load time, etc. You also get a 1 terabyte 7200 RPM hard drive. That is better than average. Most laptops do not come with a fast hard drive like that. Use your hard drive for storing your movies, your music, your data files, and some of your larger games. Games are quite large these days, so install those on the hard drive and then have your main programs and most frequently used programs installed on the SSD, so you get both a large hard drive and a super fast solid state drive. This computer comes with a Full HD 1080p IPS in-plane switching display. That's the good kind. Incredible viewing angles, 178 degrees from side to side. Very good color reproduction. It is a matte finish screen, so it's not glossy, it's not reflective. You get a DVD reader and writer, so you can read and write CDs and read and write DVDs. You get multiple USB ports. There is one USB 2.0 port, two USB 3 ports, and one of the brand new USB 3.1 Type-C ports, the reversible type that's up to 10 gigabits per second. Very, very fast. So this thing has the latest and greatest features. It has a Gigabit Ethernet port for connecting to a hardwired Ethernet connection if you are on a school, office, or home network, as well as the latest AC Wi-Fi, so very quick Wi-Fi for accessing the internet, transferring files, etc. It has Bluetooth 4.0, an SD memory card reader, a webcam located up here on the top of the screen, which is excellent for things like Skype and for live streaming your games. Speaking of live streaming games, this computer comes with a 6-month XSplit GameCaster premium subscription at no extra charge, which is nice. You can use that to stream to Twitch, YouTube, etc. And this computer is absolutely powerful enough to live stream all the current games on the market at 1080p. It's a very, very, very nice machine. Some of the other features it comes with are a full RGB backlit keyboard. This is a SteelSeries keyboard that includes software within Windows to allow you to program what colors you want the keyboard to be. You can have it be all one color, you can have it be a rainbow effect. It's an excellent backlit keyboard that gives you a lot of options. It also includes stereo surround sound. There are speakers right here in the front which deflect down and towards you, giving you better than average laptop sound. I'm not going to claim that it is stellar sound because it is a laptop and there's a limit to how large of a speaker they can put in there, but it's above average for laptop. If you want amazing sound, my recommendation would be to use headphones. In addition to headphone and microphone jacks, it also has a Kensington lock, so if you are traveling to work or school, you can secure the machine to something solid and heavy to make sure that it stays with you. It also includes something that most laptops don't. In addition to an HDMI 1.4 out, allowing you to plug in a 1080p Full HD external monitor or to plug into a television or projector, it also comes with a mini DisplayPort 1.2 out. Why is that special? 4K at 60 Hz. Yes, this will plug into a 4K monitor and give you 60 Hz display refresh rate on this laptop. Now, if you are gaming, let me be absolutely clear, this will not play Battlefield 1 at 4K because the graphics chip doesn't have the horsepower for it. But you could play Overwatch at 4K, you could play League of Legends or World of Tanks at 4K, but most importantly, you could plug it into a 4K screen, television monitor, etc., and you could watch videos at 4K. You could run your Windows desktop at 4K, and that's pretty cool. This is the first laptop that I personally have ever owned that actually has a DisplayPort output that supports 4K. Let me talk about battery life for a minute. Now, this computer has an excellent high-powered battery in it, and for general Windows tasks, if you're browsing the web, watching a video, editing a document, checking your Facebook, the battery will last you for many, many hours. I have seen between 4 to 5 hours of battery life, even when the screen brightness is turned up fairly bright. However, in gaming, it will not last that long. Now, I didn't do an unboxing in this video because I've already used this machine. The first set of videos on this have already been filmed, and I've already played games on this computer. So all the things I'm telling you in this video aren't from just reading a spec sheet, it's from actually using it. And having used this, I'll tell you that in gaming, I've gotten anywhere between an hour to 2 hours depending upon the game being played. Some games, such as World of Warships, which I have played on this, you can get up to 2 hours of gameplay. Battlefield 1 is going to be closer to 1 hour. The reason for that simply has to do with the graphics chip and how much power it consumes. So if you're planning on going somewhere and you want an extended gaming session, you need to take the wall adapter with you and plug it into the wall. But if you take it on an airplane and you're just typing documents or browsing the web and using the Wi-Fi to check your email, it will last for many, many hours doing that. What's cool about this laptop is that it has NVIDIA's technology that turns off the high-powered graphics chip when it's not needed, which is why the battery lasts so long when you're not gaming. So if you're just browsing the web, if you're just using Windows, you're actually not running on the GTX 1060. You're running on the Intel integrated graphics, the HD 530 that's built into the i7 chip. That's really cool. So you get long battery life in Windows, but you get high performance graphics when you need it, even if it does shorten the battery life a bit. Now, to those of you who are going to ask, well, can I buy some extra batteries and change them out? Not really. It's not easily user accessible. Can it be changed down the road if the battery is no longer holding a charge? Yes, the whole bottom of the laptop comes off. There are user accessible screw holes back there, but it's not something you're going to change when you're on an airplane, for example. You do have to partially disassemble it to get to the battery. So it's not a swappable battery so much as it's a replaceable battery down the road if you want to replace the battery in a few years. Beyond that, that's what you can expect out of this machine. Now that's the $1,200 entry-level machine. When you spend a little bit more, again, each of the models linked below, you get 16 gigabytes of RAM instead of 12. You get 256 gigabytes of solid-state storage instead of 128. Now, depending upon the price, depending on how much more they are, I would recommend looking at the upgraded model. The upgrade from 12 to 16 gigs only really matters for multitaskers and content creators. I don't think it's necessary for gamers, but the extra storage is really nice. On the 128 gigabyte model, after Windows is installed and set up, you're going to have about 80 to 85 gigabytes free on the solid-state drive. That's enough room to install a handful of Windows productivity programs and a couple of games. You could certainly install Adobe Creative Cloud, you could install Microsoft Office, you could install a couple of games on that, but not many. Then you'll need to move to the hard drive. On the 256 gigabyte drive, you're going to have about 210 to 220 gigabytes free. That is nearly 3 times the free space. So even though the drive is only doubled, because of Windows and other things on the machine, you've actually tripled your free space. So that's why I'm linking in the description below both models. Because if it's only $50 to $100 more for the upgraded model with 16 gigabytes of RAM and the 256 gigabyte solid-state drive, it's absolutely worth $50 to $100 more. I would buy that all day long. If, on the other hand, the price is greater, if it's $200 to $300 more, then I would buy the $1,200 model because that's a better value for your money. Personal choice, but as the price hits about $200 difference, I don't think the value of the extra solid-state storage space and the extra RAM makes it worthwhile. Let me be clear. All the other specifications of the laptops are the same between the 15.6 and the 17.3 inch screen size, and between the 12 and 16 gig models and the 128 gig solid-state drive. Those are the only differences. Processor, video card, the hard drive, the 1 terabyte 7200 RPM hard drive, the Wi-Fi, the DVD drive, all of that is the same between all the models. So the only thing you're picking between is screen size, memory, and solid-state storage. One more thing I would like to talk about, and I'm sure people are going to ask, is what is the difference between the Apache Pro, the Stealth Pro, and the Dominator lines from MSI? They all look very similar, and the hardware is very similar. And if you search for these things on Amazon or Newegg, you will find Stealth Pros and Dominator versions that look very, very similar to this. In short, here are the differences. This is the mid-level value model that gives you the most performance for the money. The Stealth Pro is basically the same hardware, but in a much thinner and lighter laptop. The Stealth Pros start at 4 pounds instead of 5.3. So it's anywhere between 1.5 to 2 pounds lighter, but you pay more. On average, the Stealth Pros are $300 more than the Apache Pros for the same performance. You're paying a premium to get a thin and light laptop. Now, if that's important to you, if you travel a lot, if you go back and forth every weekend to work or to school, and you want a 4-pound laptop instead of a 5 or 6 pound laptop, fair enough, it might be worth the money to you. Further down in the video description, I will link to the Stealth Pros on Amazon and Newegg so you can check them out. If by chance the prices have dropped and they are close in price to the Apache and you want a lightweight machine, by all means buy a Stealth Pro. But at the time I filmed this video, they were $300 more for the same hardware. So that's not a deal unless you value thin and light more than the price. What about the Dominator line? The Dominator line is not exactly the same hardware, but it's very close, and it does cost more as well. It's also thicker and heavier, generally in the 7 to 8 pound range, but you get a couple of other things with it. First of all, if you are interested in a G-Sync screen, which is the technology that allows the panel to communicate directly with the graphics card, that's an NVIDIA technology. If you want higher refresh rate screens, they do make this with a 120 Hz display instead of a 60 Hz display. You have to go up to the Dominator line to get it. You give up size and weight because they're thicker and they're heavier and they cost more. Some of the Dominators are over $2,000. Now, if you want top of the line, no compromise, if you want 120 Hz display refresh rate with G-Sync hardware and the best of everything, fair enough. But some of the Dominator laptops are double the price of the Apache Pro. If you have the money, that's fine, but it's not really a deal in terms of the performance for the dollar. You're paying a lot of money for a couple of relatively minor features. So those are the other main models that MSI sells besides the Apache Pro, but I feel that the Apache Pro represents the best value for the money, the best performance for your dollar, which is why I bought one, and I think most of you should as well. So all the things I've talked about in this video will be linked to the video description below. My full playlist of videos on this will be linked in the video description below. Is there anything specific you want to see tested? I will, of course, test Battlefield 1, Grand Theft Auto, etc. But by all means, feel free to post your comments and suggestions down below as to what else you would like to see on this machine. I will definitely be checking your feedback, and I certainly appreciate it. Like this video if you like it. Don't if you don't. Remember to subscribe to my channel with the big, huge red button right down there. Questions and comments down below, and the video description will have links to everything I've discussed. If you found this video helpful and useful, please use my links to Amazon and Newegg down there. Compare prices between the two and buy it where it makes the most sense for you. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.